Hi, I'm Phil, Architect and Director at PWS Architecture and Design. This is my intern Theo.
Hey.
Welcome to this episode, Season 3, Episode 2, where we do what we did last year and look at the awards that went on in 2023 and give our 2 cents. Not that it matters, and not that we could ever achieve any of these great heights of design talent.
Hello, hi, hello there. As Phil says, episode 2. We're going to be talking about the awards of 2023.
I enjoyed it last year.
It
Although
was
this
good
year
fun.
it's we've got a slight twist.
Yeah.
I don't know what's coming.
God, for anyone who's wondering, we're recording this at a normal time of the day and we're not tired.
It's not night.
We don't get tired.
No.
It's not allowed.
Coffee.
This is going to be less swift than usual.
Yeah, I think we make it as swift as we can. It's currently 10 o'clock at night.
So we're going to be talking about the Architectural Awards of 2023. I haven't shown Phil any of them, so we've gone for a little different selection of stuff. We've gone for 2 of the awarding bodies that we chose last year, so we've skipped one of them. We've gone with the RIBA House of the Year Awards, and then we've gone with the Architects Journal Awards as well. So we've missed out on the Arc Daily Awards just because we've gone quite a bit more in depth on this in terms of production value.
Have we?
Yeah,
because you've made a slideshow.
We've got to tell you, we've got a slideshow.
Which is crazy compared to the preparation.
Phil doesn't understand the scale of this slideshow.
Well, this is your episode.
Perhaps you will see next episode we have a slideshow as well. Although we wouldn't, because we record her in order, don't we?
Yep.
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 And Phil will be very shocked by that.
I'm shocked in the next one.
But yeah, this was my episode, so the sad thing is I'm probably going to put images up so no one will see.
Well, what should we kick off with then? So we're going to start with the House of the Year.
Yeah, we're going to start off House of the Year. So if you click on that link that I've sent to you there, it was going to take you to the website. Now, the second you've got 2 links for this because you know a bit about one of them. That big concrete-looking boy has a separate link.
Okay.
RIBA won't take you to that, but they've got their own like page for it, even though they didn't choose it. It's like it was an honorable mention of like we wanted this, but we didn't. But we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Starting off, this first one is called Cowshed.
Yep.
It's a house, it's an artist studio, and they use it as a bit of an office as well. It's by David Cohen Architect, and it's in Devon.
So awards it was up for and or won are the Reba Southwest Award 2023, shortlisted for the RIBA House of the Year. Oh, so this isn't the winner we're going to go through.
Exactly. We're going to do the winner last. And we're going to go through the shortlist before that. Now, I was intrigued by the choice of the order for the pictures they put on here. First up, they put the toilet.
Yep.
And I must admit, out of all of the shots, because this doesn't give you a clue of what the house is going to be like, and I personally think they chose the worst room.
Is it mirrors or a gallows bracket on that?
On
that far wall.
Yeah. They haven't plastered the walls. It's throughout the house. It's breeze block.
That's cool.
Which is fair enough. They're going with it, but I think it looks unfinished in the toilet. The yellow suggests they're going Wes Anderson type. Interesting, but the lack of anything else suggests that they'd started doing it and then forgot about it. And I'm looking at that, and you know what I'm thinking, Phil? That wouldn't happen.
That wouldn't happen, would it?
Concrete floor, careful not to slip when you're getting out of the bath.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
I mean, it looks nice and porous, so that's good. Yeah, true.
You got
I like the lack of mirrors in front of the sinks, but at least you get a view. I hope they don't have neighbours. I assume they won't. I think they started with the worst room. I really do.
I don't think it's the...
No. Have you looked ahead? You're not.
No, I actually haven't. I'm trying my best not to. I'm kind of like, when I see that, I flick down. No, I get it. I like stuff like this.
I will say that this is, and I'm going to be careful not to be so negative like we were last time, because I know I wouldn't do half of this stuff in here. Yeah. I need to be very self-aware of that fact. But I wouldn't decorate my bathroom like that. That being said, and this is a low pixel quality picture,
Oh yeah.
but
Bloody hell.
that's a cool looking house. They went with the circle, didn't they?
I like the trusses.
Yeah. Oh, mate, let's go to an interior shot. Look at this one. So that's the artist studio and office. And so basically what they've done, obviously it's a repurposed barn. I say obviously, perhaps not. But they've exposed loads of these trusses and they've made it very, I believe the word juxtaposition is probably used somewhere in here, because they've made it very clear where the new bits are and where the old original bits are. I really like the way they've done this. It's got a very intentionally unfinished look in a bit of a Richard Rogers way, but not in that high-tech way, but more in that like hide nothing way. That's what I mean.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds weird to say something that looks the way it does on the inside is impressive, because the image I'm looking at is one of the internal ones. The studio.
In fairness, with the big glass facade, the whole point is that you get to see the interior.
Yeah, I mean,
when you look at that one just up there of that kitchen, that's nice. But it doesn't look like ultra modern, which it obviously isn't meant to be. Although it's built last year, so it is technically as modern as it can get.
No, I really like it.
Yeah, I like it. When you look at that nighttime shot,
that
shows off that facade so nicely.
I scrolled past that a second ago and was like, ooh. Yeah, no, I really like it. I genuinely have absolutely zero qualms with any of the design choices.
I think some of the interior design choices are definitely a bit like you've got to have the taste for it. I don't like that bathroom.
To be fair, if it's part artist studio, it's a particular type of client.
Yeah, that's true.
To be honest,
they're going to say we want more circles, which is clearly what they've done here. They were in love with that circle. I think I've got it on the notes. They like circles.
Yeah,
that studio, that's an artist studio if ever you've seen one. I mean, the tidiness of it.
Tidy and yet somehow not. Messy but tidy. No, I love it. I love the conduit. I've always been a big fan of conduit, to be fair. It's just it doesn't work in
Hackney School of Food where they have all that. Kind of, that's very much.
That was one of the ones for last year, wasn't it?
That's very much an education of how the building works. With the exposed.
I suppose you save on plasterboard and skim and dot and dab and all that, but like, I mean,
and if you can call it a style, then win.
Yeah. Just pay for nice ones, nice conduiting.
Got the elevations here, and to be honest, I mean,
they've got shadows on the elevations.
Have they? I can't see from the quality of this picture.
Look at that. You can see it in that top one.
Oh, yeah, behind the glass facade. That's nice. We do that here at BWS.
Yeah.
That is nice. Site plan, not much. You can't say there's much wrong with this, can you? I think there's something in the description, and if you've got it open, you might see it, talking about that silo, and that silo being quite important to it. And I think that's why they've really taken advantage of the circle, but I might have just made that up.
I think you may have done, but I can't tell because I'm just looking at the Reaper page.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So that's the first one. The second one, if you follow that second link there, this is called 100 Acre Wood, and it's by Denizen Works. It's located in Argyll and Bute, which I believe is southwest of the Highlands in Scotland.
You seem really confident in that one.
No, I know.
Oh yeah, I saw this one on your screen earlier.
Yeah, so this one is like, I'm not a man of brutalism, but this is kind of sexy. I am. Although I have qualms. My first favourite thing that I read about.
My first favourite.
The client said that they
really
don't like watching telly, which makes sense. I read that after I'd looked through the pictures and I was like, that makes sense because there's not a television in the entire place. Except there is. Do you want to know where the televisions are? They've been used to render the building.
Is it a projector?
Nope. They've taken televisions, they've smashed them all up, and they've used them to render the building. Apparently, it started out as a joke, and the architects are just like, "Yeah, we can do that."
What?
Yeah.
Oh, so God, yeah. This is the effect of rendering the house in recycled TV screens. The material choice was started as a joke. The client does not like television, but has resulted in an unexpectedly beautiful exterior. Yeah. Aggregate sizes change across the building surface to imitate erosion.
Isn't that clever as well? I mean, you'd probably hardly notice, but it's certainly a clever idea to try it.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, how many is that? Your client makes a joke. Oh, I hate the telly. Well, what if you smash them up and cover your house in it?
I don't even know where to begin. Like,
Yeah.
where does that?
And so it's based off two things. It's based off the typical Scottish brock, which was like a very, I'm so glad I'm studying Scotland at the minute.
Yeah.
I know how to talk about this, but I'll be careful not to. It's a late medieval castle within Scotland. It's as they're starting to learn how to sculpt, or is it early medieval? It's either early or late. But it's very simple shapes made out of found stones and rocks. And they've also kind of combined that with the styles of Eduardo Chillida, who's a sculptor. And they do a lot of shapes like that.
Yeah. The plan is designed around a huge central hall, which has been designed to accommodate an 18-foot Christmas tree.
Look at that. That's ridiculous. And when they don't have the Christmas tree, they've got it. I'm being careful not to swear because it makes my job harder. There's a golden skylight.
Do you know what the thing is? As I'm looking at this, and there's something really Bond villain-esque about it.
They're in the
Like,
mafia, right?
all I can see is like someone in a suit walking through there, pistol up, looking around, just hearing, "I've been waiting for you, Mr. Bond." Golden skylight.
No, I expect you to die. Yeah, it's literally Goldfinger in a house. Golden skylight.
Jesus.
So that when you don't have your 18-foot Christmas tree, you still got a purpose for that room. That's all that room is for. It's for a Christmas tree.
Jesus Christ. Grayson would love that.
This was the one I was most like engaged with. And I was like, that's just stupid. It's almost quite Tadorando, except the windows are not nearly thin enough to be doing that. They haven't played around enough with like, this is the select area where this light and shadow is going to be cast. But Jesus, it's like impressive.
This is slow architecture. The house was designed and constructed over an 8-year period.
What are the plans, Phil?
And now, I was just reading that bit. And now the client and architect talk of the wider project plan, a landscape which will progress over 100 years. Bloody hell.
I mean, that's fair enough. I was looking at it and I was like, their living room. Oh, I've gone too far. Oh, yeah, the bathtubs. The bathtubs. They've got two
That's
bathtubs.
how we should
in one
record
room.
this podcast.
Huh?
That's how we should start recording the
The
podcast.
bathtubs.
Twin bathtubs.
Well, just both of us.
Is there more gold on that ceiling?
Gold? No, that looks like it's wood.
Wood. Good old wood. Crikey.
Yeah, that living room, I was like, that's a crap telly. It just looks like a brazier recessed in the wall. Oh, it is? Now, are you going to see something with the plans that I saw?
No, 2 seconds. Let me get to the plans then.
Okay.
Oh dear. This isn't going to be good, is it? Am I going to be sad?
There's one glaring
Which one do you want? The site plan?
Ground floor. I don't have all three on here, but I've got ground floor.
I don't like this. I don't like that there's a glaring issue that
They've got shadows. That's really sexy. But
on the elevations.
But on this plan.
On the plan.
No, on this plan. No, they've got shadows in their elevations, which I like.
Pass. I don't want to spend too much time on this.
There's not a single bit of hatch.
Oh, that's not the end of the world.
Yes, it is.
It is if you work here. I'll give you that.
Hatch.
I like the door into the bar that's about 3 foot thick.
No hatch or pure black hatch. Oh my God, that's a vault, isn't it?
Yes.
Sheesh.
Oh.
Same with the sections. Not a single bit of hatch.
I tell you what, I do quite like.
What's going on, Phil? What's going on?
There's a few things I actually do really quite like about the layout. I think.
I mean, that atrium is ridiculous.
Oh, aye. Oh, aye. Bloody hell. What, the dining room atrium? Yeah. See, stuff like that. It's that level of like eccentric design that gets me excited about. Like, even it doesn't need to be that eccentric.
But holy moly.
Yeah.
That's mint, isn't it?
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think the more important thing about the more impressive thing, about the whole thing is that there's not really that many right angles, which is nice because I always worry that with stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of right angles. So if you look at that ground floor plan again, A lot of the rooms, yes, they've got kind of like square edges to them, but then the outside you've got all these chamfers around the windows.
Right, okay.
Obviously, the bar's got curved walls, and there's like that curved stairway and all that stuff. But and I can see the twin bathroom on the plan. But yeah, a lot of it's like on the outside just isn't square, which I think is nice.
Next up, we've got Made of Sand.
Okay, you've not given me a link to that one, but
No, that's on the main website.
Okay, I'll go back to the top link.
Everything else is on the main website now.
Oh, Saltmarsh House didn't win, did it? Saltmarsh.
You're not allowed to look ahead, but no comment.
I didn't look at that ahead. I just was trying to find things and I saw it.
Didn't
even Made of Sand. I just know it from seeing it.
Made of Sand by Studio Weave in Devonshire. It's just a 2-story extension.
Reba Southwest Small Project of the Year, sponsored by, I can't pronounce that, Reba Southwest Award 2023 shortlist of Reba House of the Year. Oh, I really like the outside of that.
Yeah, it's a timber clad extension on a stone cottage.
I would like the outside. You see how I did that? Yeah? You like that?
Yeah, I like that. Interior.
I read the first paragraph, that said made of sand, and I read it as it's made of sand. I was like,
and you're like,
it certainly is not.
The interior is very simply decorated, but it's nice. Actually, that's probably not giving it credit. It's just, it's a single material.
Well, it's not.
The pictures I'm looking at, it's all very plain wood.
Except for that wall that's obviously not plain wood, and that floor that's obviously not plain wood.
Shush, Phil, that looks like plain wood from here.
Is
that plastic?
It's a relatively similar palette of materials, isn't it? Though
simple palette.
It's probably
simple palette is the correct word.
Simple and similar. So you obviously got like, I'm not sure what wood it is, and I don't want to sit here and go, it's definitely like a redwood or something. But you've then got like the terracotta floor, and you've got a terracotta like pink hue to that plasterwork. Which is that polished?
I think
plaster. I can't really tell.
Can you polish plaster?
Yeah,
mint.
A really good example is if you go to TK Maxx in Toon, and it sounds really bizarre to say it that way. If you go through the front door and look either way, left or right, they've got a polished plaster wall.
Right.
It's really nice. I'm trying to shoehorn it into a design, but no one's bit the bullet yet.
Well, stop telling them to go to TK Maxx.
Yeah.
We want to see examples of this. Well, you can go to the shops.
Yeah, go to TK Maxx.
Yeah.
If you see any shoes in size 12, pick them up for me.
But yeah, that's a very nice little building.
And what I also like, if you look at
they've got hatch on the elevations, on the sections.
Look at the image of either, in fact, any of the images, but a really obvious one is the one where you can see a single light and then the clear story glazing.
In the bedroom.
That one, yeah, you can see it in that one. So the nearest beam to you can see that they're split.
Yeah.
So it's two beams, not just one, and there's just that lovely shadow gap in between that fits the upright in perfectly. And I'm assuming then that kind of almost like a picture rail that runs across the top. It's obviously all the same dimensions. And then they've used that kind of framing element to form these like niches in the wall. It's just clever because that sort of stuff, like, it's just like a really quick. I say quick. There's obviously a lot of time gone into it, but it's kind of like a quick way for the inhabitant to just go, I can decorate this space because I've got places to put it. But even with nothing there, it's
instead of having a flat
pre-decorated.
Space and going, what should I do? It's
there's some like there's that.
It's
depth to the wall already.
Completely different to that last one, isn't it? It's meant to be cozy. It's meant to be
this is
much
warm.
More personal. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's lovely. That.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely.
We've got the sections here.
A minute, a second. I have the section.
I can't see any. I mean, it's just.
I have to zoom in. I have to pinch zoom.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Sure.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say to that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I like that it's built into the side of that hill.
Yep.
That's always nice.
Do we know then?
Have they got one of them? What do you call it when you've got cattle and you have like a dip down from your field, from your house, and then it kind of comes back up, and it's got something named like a joker thingy or a ha ha ha. Yeah, ha ha. Is that? Do you reckon that's a ha ha, or do you reckon that's just the end of their property in a boundary wall?
Possibly.
Maybe I'm overthinking it.
So there's a couple of things. I'm assuming this is an extension then. We're looking
extension
at
on that stone cottage.
Yeah, that's nice. Gross internal area, 69 square meters. Nice. That's nice. That. Yeah. I like that.
And this next one.
Yep. Which one am I aiming for next?
Middle Avenue.
Yep. I've seen this one before as well.
I've got nothing bad to say about it. It's very nice, but I think in comparison to the rest of them, it's
I'm noticing a
less
lot of
impressive.
Southeast Award 2023 on these. Are any of these from the Northeast?
So this was, I doubt it. We don't get to do nice things. No, this was Middle Avenue. It's by a company. It's by Rural Office, and it is in. Oh, where did I put that? Farnham.
I don't know where that is, but
Me neither. Some people might. But when you look, so it starts off with the interior pictures, which I think is weird because it doesn't give you very much to like think about. But it's a nice interior.
I suppose it's like easing you in, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if they've told us anywhere if it's an extension or a new. Oh no,
It's a new
it's
build.
definitely a new build. When you look at the exterior, it's definitely.
No, the gross internal area of the build is 285 square meters. So that's one hell of an extension if it is one.
Start by skipping to the exterior pictures, and
Yep.
then I think we should move in.
That's where I'm at with you.
That's groovy.
That's a roof, isn't
That
it?
roof, that is a roof. Boy, is that a roof. They clearly went, well, we want a loft, but how do we shape it so that we can use all the space? Let's just not shape it like a loft.
Well, there's a lot of traditional buildings out there that have like huge, deep roofs like that.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, but
It is
crikey,
groovy.
they've put something into that.
Yeah, so
That's
then
lovely.
Then once you start looking into the interiors and you start to see how that space is all lit up naturally and nicely with all of those window lights, and you think that's quite nice. Window lights, roof lights.
I like the very top image that looks like you're sort of staring into that one. That there's something in that ceiling that's going on. I don't know if it's obvious on that screen, but if you look at because your screen's something else, isn't it? You can see.
My screen's
You
a
can
lot of
see
things.
where you've got three sort of planes of ceiling line or.
And none of them
line.
are going at 90 degrees to anything else.
Yeah, and I think that's quite nice because you get a lot of depth of shape and shadow, and I think that's really good.
Nicely furnished, tasteful. Yeah.
I always, when we do these, I always try not to think too much about the interior furnishings and stuff because I always think that's not really the architect's doing.
True,
well,
true.
potentially not the architect's doing, but
That chair next to the fire.
there's something about it
Why?
though. There's something
that
about this
reading
one that does
chair?
feel a bit like the architect did furnish this one. Staircase is nice, but you can see that the first photo was taken from sort of maybe 4 or 5 meters in front of the second photo.
Yeah, because you can see it within. Yeah.
I think I like this one actually.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, but I think
So
I think
far,
it makes sense that it didn't win compared to all of the others, kind of in the sense of it's very good and creative, but I think it's the least impressive.
Made of wood is so far my
Made
favorite.
of sand.
I know it's
made of stuff.
made,
That's
made of materials.
that section upsets me, and I think
Is that because of the big? Looks like a big dirty cantilever.
not even.
Oh, it's a raft foundation.
It's because of the solid black hatch.
What's your obsession with that?
Solid black looks just so. It's so like
Overpowering and
so
dominating.
overpowering.
Yeah.
No hatch makes you think, where are the walls? Solid black makes you think, where is the rest of the space?
Yeah.
If it was a solid and void diagram, then there's too much other detail, but it's not. It's just really powerful black hatch.
Yeah.
The next one is Salt Marsh House.
Yay! I like this one. I really like this one. I've
Yeah.
seen this quite a few times on different websites.
I've made it down to the long list.
I may have not got my way onto the actual RIBA House of the Year TV show or this sort of the website for it, but I have seen quite a lot of the stuff on like Instagram and whoa!
So this was by Neil McLaughlin Architects. Oh, I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I'd asked you to pronounce it first, because I reckon you'd have
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. I reckon you'd have a field day trying it without hearing it in advance.
Is it Neil and not Niall?
I think it's Neil. That's how I've always heard it. It's
Oh.
probably Niall, in fairness.
I can say because I grew up with an Niall that was spelt like that. Yeah, this is probably one of my favourite buildings I've seen this year.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very one of the Franks. Not one of the Franks, but one of the Franks' teachers, Lloyd Wright's teacher, who was called. But he did that house.
Oh yeah, Glass House.
Yes.
Yep.
Not Corbusier.
His name is the same as mine,
Oh, I give up.
Philip Johnson.
No, not who I'm thinking of.
Oh, well, I look silly now.
Mies van der Rohe.
Are you taking the?
Van der Rohe.
You couldn't just bring Mies van der Rohe to the front of your mind.
Jesus, holy moly.
It's definitely too late for this.
That one. Yeah, he made it for someone, and the client tried to sue him because it was so popular among architecture students. Whenever she'd wake up in the morning in her big glass house, there would just be architecture students just taking pictures.
Seagram. Oh, no, Seagram. Farnsworth House.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the Farnsworth House.
Yeah, that basically.
Off the top of my head.
I think that's a very Mies van der Rohe style in that it's raised up on stilts. It's got a big glass facade. It has all of the key points.
It's got a pitch. Oh wait,
no. Well,
no, I think it's to be fair.
That's a good point.
So this is an extension, isn't it?
Is
it? I remember. 106 square meters. I'm sure I read somewhere it was an extension. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. I'm starting to think I'm wrong. Definitely wrong. Saltmarsh achieves a pocket watch levels of precision and attention to detail alongside passive house standards of environmental performance to create a building which looks truly. Yeah, it's not.
It's never an extension.
No, I've just watched a little shoot over video of it. It's definitely not an extension. Bloody hell, conceived as a delicate steel frame. One thing that I really like, and it's hard to tell from some of the photos, is it looks like.
I want to know how it's a house.
I want to know how it's a house. Well, a house is just a dwelling, isn't it?
Where do you dwell?
In that house.
Oh, cheers.
I hope I've clarified that for you.
Show me a picture of a bedroom and I'll start to believe this. If you look
at, the bit that you're looking at there is the dining space, which is obviously the key space, looking out over the hills. But if you're looking at that, go...
is it that one? You
behind
can see
all
the
those walls is where you start to move into like the...
Yeah, I'm just thinking when you look areas. At that... Yeah, so it must be those kind of boxes off the back, which is, as you say, where it's private.
Yeah, so you've kind of got like...
That's a nice section. That's a very nice technical section.
What I like is the columns seem to be like split as like thin tubes with glass in between. Yeah. And everything's just like really...
It's very sleek, isn't it? Very sleek.
I mean, Smith and Wallwork, who did the engineering on that, like, hats off to you. That is incredible.
Well done, Smith. Well done, Wallwork. If you're listening.
Obviously, Niall, not Neil,
Niall.
I'm going to say. McLaughlin Architects did a cracking job on that. But what's impressive as well is...
They are big at the minute.
We seem to find there's a lot of like...
they're big in residential. They're big in small jobs right now.
Yeah. I think what's impressive on this is that there's a long list on this website of contractor, structural engineer, civil engineer, environmental and M&E engineer, planning and heritage consultant, planning architect, consultant ecologist, approved inspector. Like, having... a long list of consultants and collaborators on there is like, it goes to show the power of friends, because
that's a nice view they've got.
Come back together pretty well.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's nothing major. They've got a tree in the way. That'll be annoying. Bet they couldn't get the permission to chop that down.
Bet they probably didn't want to, but yeah.
The section is low quality on this screen, but it's very nice.
It is very nice, I'll give you that. It's strange looking at the section for it, because I'm not sure that the section belies the things that I'm seeing on the inside. Oh, no, it is. I know, I've worked out now, because you've got there's the glass at the top, and then those timber bits coming across is the frame. I thought it was... I thought the roof was a lot thicker than it looked, but it's me not reading it properly.
The next one, and the winner, greenhouse.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. No, I know this one.
This one is cool as hell. It doesn't start with the exterior. Don't skip ahead.
Okay.
I want
anything.
I want the exterior to be a complete shock. That's a nice looking staircase, isn't it? They've got a very interesting colour scheme going on. I'll start. It's by Hayhurst.
Is this why it's called the greenhouse? They just put green everywhere.
You'll see.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay, I'm in.
I was looking at it and I was like, I don't get how other ones didn't win. And then I got to a picture and I was like, oh.
Okay, right, okay. So just to say where I'm at the minute.
Phil's only seen this interior and maybe you scroll to the next interior.
No.
Okay, not even.
They didn't scroll that far. At the moment, if you were to like, gun to my head, which one would be House of the Year for you? It would be Saltmarsh.
Yeah, probably.
For me. Right
now.
For you.
Very
closely followed by 100 acre and made of wood.
Yeah.
I'm not calling it made of sand.
It's not.
Sorry.
So this is by Hayhurst & Co.
Yep.
It is in, where is it in?
It's in London by the looks of
Clyde Circus.
It's got the...
In Tottenham.
Reba London Award 2023 Project Architect of the Year.
I haven't said
the year winner.
if it's if the house is an extension or not. But when you look
On
at
a very
it,
tight budget, generous 5-bedroom family home in the Clyde Circus Conservation Area of Tottenham is an inspiring example of what can be achieved with a creative, ambitious approach to design. The excellent collaboration between architect, client, and the slowdown imposed by the project during the COVID pandemic has resulted in an extremely well-considered home that is not only ultra-practical but architecturally exciting and also highly innovative from a sustainability perspective. Does not say. Internal area, 189 metres square gross. I'd imagine probably a new build. I could be completely wrong.
I think you're completely wrong. That's a nice
I'll
interior
find
picture,
out.
isn't it? Lots of plants.
Nope, I haven't zoomed down a bit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, lots of plants. I wonder how they're keeping them warm. Oh, what's that?
Well, slow down.
Oh, what's that, Phil?
Oh, right.
Skip this.
Do you know how I tried
Look
not to
at that.
swear there?
Go down 2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What the? No, I'm in. This wins. Biophilia, I'm in.
But that one of it where you're looking down the street, and it's just a greenhouse. Yeah, you were looking at it and you were like, why is it on there? I was looking at it, I was like, I don't get it. I
couldn't work out what I was meant to be looking at.
And then you realised.
I was looking directly centre. So you know that like there's like there's a silver car, then there's like a half dead tree, green tree, and then behind that's like a gable end. I was like, that looks a what? And then I realised what I was meant to be looking at. Yeah, I was looking at that where that chimney is.
That's insane, isn't it?
I look straight past. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
If I tried to get permission for that, I'd be
Why would you try? That's why, because sometimes
rest in peace my inbox when they slowly trickle through the objections to me one by one.
God.
Oh, crikey.
I want to go and shake their hand.
I want to shake his hand!
And then you look at the interior shots and they're all just absolutely lovely.
Well, yeah.
As you'd expect. Now this one where it's kind of going into the garden kind of shows you again, like that's just nice. And then you can look around the back of it.
Yeah.
And that is what you'd expect from a standard nice extension. Not that.
So what makes you think is an extension then?
The estate it's built in.
So you don't think
I don't think there was
potentially
an
an
empty plot of land. I don't think there was.
Okay.
I think looking at it, it's on this terrace street. I don't think there was an empty plot there.
I'm just looking at the concept and axonometric at the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Just I think if you're doing a job where there's an axo required, oh boy.
Do you know what? If it is a new build, it speaks volumes to the design. Excuse me. I'll try that again. If it is a new build, it speaks volumes to the design integrity that we can't necessarily tell. Because you look at like the axonometric and you look at the site plan and everything, and it's all in proportion to like every property around it. There's nothing that screams new, old, or anything.
When you look at that street, it doesn't grab you until you see it. I mean, that's that kind of obvious, but it's not like screaming, "Look at me." But as soon as you see it, you're like, "What the hell? That's mint."
It is.
You know, like that sudden realization of what it is you're seeing is just insane. And I mean, all the interiors are nice, but at this point, like, who's looking when you've got that and you're outside?
Yeah.
Should we actually explain this? Because this is an audio thing as well. This is an actual greenhouse in a red brick terraced estate.
Yeah, well done. That does sum it up pretty damn well.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously a polycarbonate, but you look at that exterior shot there.
I've realised that's been 10 minutes of us going, what?
Yeah.
This is diving into what we did last time.
I know, it's trying to avoid that, but if you look at it on the outside, it's almost like there's like a facade of that polycarbonate with all the greenery behind, and the building actually starts behind the actual facade and the elevation, rather than it being
building control. They were going to do that. Do you reckon when they went, there'll be a balcony?
I'm trying to see if it's new or not.
Get yourself on Google there. I've got too much going on.
Arc Daily. I've gone through 4 different websites to try and find if anyone seems to be able to give me a definitive yes or no. Everyone just seems to be talking about
raving about how cool it is.
Basically, yeah. Adorned with polycarbonate panels and protected by lush vegetation all around it. Its unassuming exterior aims to conceal the exceptional and compact new living space. New living space? Does that?
That doesn't help. It's newer than it used to be, isn't it?
Either way,
it's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm willing to admit I was wrong and say that that is probably a very worthy winner of House of the Year.
That's so good.
And
it's
I bet
so good.
the thing is whenever we do these,
Greenhouse from last year, Greenhouse from this year, yes.
oh god, yeah, it was called the Red House, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Oh man,
I hated it.
the thing
Last
is,
year we went through them all and we were like, "That's crap. That's crap. Why didn't that win? That's crap. That's good."
we do this every year though when we look at them, and I always go like, I feel I'm gutted for everyone on that list who didn't win. But then if Saltmarsh House had won, for example, I'd have been gutted for the other 5. But if like Made of Sand had won, I'd be gutted for the other 5. If Cowshed had won, because they're all really good this year, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is insane. This is insane.
I bet whoever paid for 100 Acre Wood though is pissed. Because they'd have paid all that money, got shortlisted, and then been this close to winning.
Yeah, to be honest, mate, they probably just bought a Lamborghini and moved on.
Yeah.
Started
stroking their cat in a swivel chair.
That is not a person who gives a about
accolades, yeah.
House of the Year. That is someone who wishes they never got into the shortlist because it's drawn too much attention to their property.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
And their golden ceiling light. What the hell?
So what are we on to next? The
Now
Architect's Journal.
we're moving on to Architect's Journal.
So if I click that third link, yeah.
Yeah, Buildings of the Year.
Buildings.
And this one I've had to be careful with. So they've actually suggested kind of 2 pictures from each project.
Okay.
They give each project about 30. So this had the potential to make this thing a giant file.
Okay.
But I've only gone with the two pictures that they've proposed. Obviously, you're welcome to look through them.
Okay. I haven't looked through them yet. I'm on the top of the article. Can I scroll down?
Don't, because they're all in a row. They're all on one slide.
Okay.
But first up is the best applied product. So last year,
it was the chain.
it was the chains. I'd be interested to see. I haven't actually looked at what the product is, although I think I can tell instantly what it is.
I scroll down far enough to tell you it is Convento. No, wait, no, that's the name of the building.
Yes, it is.
Bloody hell! I love an arch.
I tell you what, it's very cool.
Oh, don't scroll too far. I'm like I'm scrolling so delicately to make sure I don't see what's next.
Yeah. If you click on the blue link, it will take you to a description of that building.
Oh, where it says Convento do Beto Event Center.
Complex.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So it includes an old church, a covenant,
I love churches.
and other buildings for industrial use. Okay, but what's the product? That's what I want to know.
It's got to be stone.
Yeah, I mean, there's one colour going on in here, isn't it?
I really like that roof. So if you look at that section,
I'm assuming the roof must be whatever this product is.
don't know. I'm trying to find out. I feel like, do you know when it's probably at the top of it and we've scrolled so far down now? What's the product?
What's the product?
What's the product?
White paint.
Right.
I think white paint is the product.
Dulux.
Yeah, so again, for listeners, we're looking at a very... Oh, I started that and then thought, what? It's like almost this Roman-style marble built, very classic building with a really modern art gallery style floor and ceiling plan. And it's just... Wow. But what's the product? This one product of the year. What's the product? Contrast? It's cool. So with some of the bigger ones like the shopping centre, I think I struggle to fall in love as much because
it's not like a tower.
No. Oh yeah, it's sunken. It's sunken. There you go. That's the best one for it. It's this level park, and then you can almost see down into this giant shopping centre. It's like if you were walking along the Metro Centre for our local viewers, which will be Mum and your mum.
My mum's down in Saltaire. She's
for Mum and Mike.
Yeah.
Hi
Mike.
Hi Mike.
And Derek. All 4 viewers.
All 4 of our viewers. Yeah, it's this kind of level park, but there's holes in the park that you can't fall into because they have railings. I assume that was...
No, that's just called natural selection. Yeah, it has got railings. I can see them here. It's impressive. Like, I'm looking at some of I've gone onto the link and seen some of the other photos, and
it's very impressive. It's one of them strings. It's one of them things that I think I'd struggle to fall in love with just because it's not my type of project. You
No.
know, it's not the type of thing I...
House of the Year is our type,
Yeah.
as our typography. This maybe not, but there's some definite principles in here that I enjoy. Obviously, like the sunken aspect of it, that's
Is
nice.
really
There's a lot
cool.
of, again, biophilia in there, which is, again, my biggest fetish at the minute, I think is the correct term.
Correct term,
Yeah, that's the technical term.
Yeah.
But no, I like it. I mean, aside from then you move into the actual kind of more mundane commercial spacing. of it,
Yeah,
where
like
it's become a
it's-
shop. I can see an Aldi logo and I've lost.
There's probably at least 10
Lost
Starbucks
interest.
in there. The next one, which will probably be more interesting for us, is the Cultural Architecture Award.
Yep.
And it's the Brazilian Pavilion.
Brilliant.
It's the Brazilian Pavilion
Pavilion
Expo in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah, good lad. Features the waters of Brazil.
In the United Arab Emirates. Yeah, so I thought that was so cool. It's like this pavilion
just
from some World
imported
Expo
water?
type thing. And yet they've basically flooded I should get the picture up there. They've flooded the interior of this pavilion, so you've got to walk around with your shoes off and your trousers rolled up. There's definitely more to it than meets the eye in terms of the concept.
Yeah, once you click on that link and start to delve a bit deeper.
Mm.
Bloody hell. That's incredible. What a beautiful way to introduce someone's culture into something.
Yeah, it looks like a very nice place to be. It's almost got that Japanese garden feel of walking around that
Like
area.
a tranquility garden.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, that's cracking that.
Yeah, very nice. That's the type of thing.
I take it
that
these
I'm
don't
more
have
into.
like a... Which one of these do you think is the best? Like, which is the winner? These are all like winners of their own category, yeah?
There are 15 typographies. If we were to look into the shortlist for each one, we'd be here
That's fine.
longer
Cool.
than we want to be.
What's next? Oh, educational architecture.
Educational, I think we're both going to be more into this. I know I am into this. This is the Jadgal, I think it says there.
Yeah,
I've got a red
Jadgal.
line. Elementary school in Iran,
Yeah.
and it's in the middle of a desert in Iran.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty nifty. Can't lie with that. Can't lie there.
Is it rammed earth? Do we know?
I think so, but
Sustainable
check the
develop-
link.
So the project is
So
a
it's this-
public call for construction of a school with sustainable development approach that non-governmental organisation Iran-E-Man. Whatever it is, it's definitely got some sort of clad in
It's
a natural or
so-
local material.
It's interesting because it's got this circular plant, and then it's got those boxes for the rooms within, and then the elevation of it has all these interesting shapes cut out. That's definitely going to be engaging to a kid's eyes.
Yeah.
And it's built off donations, so it's clearly, I mean, looking at it, you know, it's not in a built-up, developed area.
Yeah,
And
it's
yet-
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and yet, and that building just to the outside of it looks fairly old and not exactly like it's a brand new type place. So to have such a nicely built thing, a nicely built primary school,
There's some
It's
really
so
nice
good.
pictures in that link where there's like kids hanging out inside those little...
and then in them shadows of the
Yeah,
circle.
it's an incredible... it's an incredible idea, this. It's almost... Ever played Halo? It's just like... I'm going to sound like a proper heathen when I say this, but the axonometrics have got shadows on. But it kind of reminds me of Halo where you have like this thing, the ring around it. I think it's really nice.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Of course, the axos have shadows on because it's such the shadows are so
Yeah, they're
integral
very
to this.
important, yeah.
Yeah, to cut them circles out of that kind of interior wall.
What's next? Architecture, healthcare.
Architecture, healthcare.
University Hospital in Tangier? Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, Tangier. That's a real place, Phil.
I'll be honest, it's really cool. It's
It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Holy.
yeah, it's
If
very
you've got tryptophobia, look away now.
it's very cool, clean, brand new looking. You know, in Wall-E, where Wally's driving
Wall-E.
around in the spaceship, and then there's that alien robot following after him, cleaning him up every single track. I feel like if someone was to walk in there with their walking boots, there'd be some poor worker there who has to follow everyone around and just clean up to keep it that white all of the time. It looks awesome though.
I love the columns in the second photo.
Yeah, that's very. I need to stop I need to stop trying to name architects before I've worked out.
Yeah,
what
you
they're
make
called.
yourself look a bit silly, don't you? And I have to.
I think it's
Louis
Frank
Kahn.
Lloyd-
Is that what you're going for?
Frank Lloyd Wright's library. That's what I'm going for.
Oh, yeah.
I'm putting my bets on. Although I know for a fact it's an office.
Something a little bit Ron Chompy about that roof as well.
Yes.
Did you get it right?
Yes.
Good lad.
The J.C. Johnson wax headquarters. Do you know the one with the? It was supposed to look like trees, and it's basically these
Oh,
giant
yeah,
white
yeah,
pillars
yeah.
with the discs on top.
Yeah.
That's what it's suggesting to me.
It is very nice.
That's really cool. It's really cool, but it's this very futuristic, modern looking. Like, I would feel like. Have you played Fallout 4?
No.
Okay, fair enough. It feels almost like post-apocalyptic, but these were like the scientists who like hid away and actually like secretly started it all. You know, like that's how like clean this. They're like the really clever supervillains.
So hospitality's next.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert, Phil. This is the one we were talking about earlier.
Oh, you and Jana.
This is called, and it's named so well. See if you can work out what the purpose of this building is. It's called House and Restaurant.
I'm going to assume a restaurant and a house.
No, house and a restaurant, actually.
Ah.
Yeah, so close, though. It's in Japan. It's my personal winner just because of the name, but also because of how cool and sexy it is. This is the kind of thing I can mess around with. It's on our scale, and it's just so nice. So, do you want to know the process? Basically, again, this is another one of those where it's leveled into the ground.
Yeah.
What they did was they dug a pit, they filled the pit with concrete, they then excavated the pit and covered it in rammed earth or some other type of mud plaster. And they liked how it looked so much that they then set that so that it felt like this cave. So it's actually...
Run that... What? Run that by me again?
They dug a hole in the ground.
ground.
They filled the ground with concrete, and then they went down and excavated it so that it looks like this. So that it looks like this cave.
But it...
It's this...
Oh, it's actually... No, it's actually... Because what I was trying to understand there is... Okay, I get that. I get what they've done. But how is it a house? And then you can kind of see where they've put glass fences and stuff into that.
Those glass facades create the external walls, which is mint. They've just literally just slipped in these glass bits around this like handmade cave. Isn't that awesome? What do you think about the hatch on the section?
I haven't got that far yet.
It's not quite. That's mint.
Someone's like...
It's a Michelin star chef, obviously.
Someone has either completely fluked that.
Yeah, that's what they...
Or...
They said they fluked the final finish. They were putting that mud on, that clay on, to try and get the texture right, and then they were going to just get rid of it so they had the concrete right. But they looked at it and they were like, that looks better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the process of making it now.
Yeah. The next one.
It's the next section is
our
houses.
Houses. This is called House in Pomar de Cafezal in Brazil.
Yeah, better than I think I was going to pronounce it.
You know what? It's a nice house.
This is going to sound offensive, but is that it?
Is that it?
And I can't tell if it's me going, is that it? Because I've just seen a cave.
Yeah.
It probably is just me going, I've just seen a cave. But I'll indulge. Let's take a look.
I think it's about where it is.
I suppose it's because it's like brick and concrete as well. Like I'm so used to seeing brick and concrete, and I'm not so used to seeing a man-made cave.
Do you want to know what's impressive about it? It's in the middle of a slum.
Right.
Yeah. It's clearly in this very, very poor area, and this house is quite nice.
It's tiny as well.
It is tiny.
Like that's a really...
What did they say? It's a 70 square meter shack.
I like it. Do you know what I really like?
Have you seen the sketches?
I was about to say I really like the sketches.
I bet that was
generative
AI.
The exploded axle is pretty nice as well.
I haven't seen that. Oh yeah, that's nice.
I like that. So next up on is housing.
Not to be mistaken with houses. Housing is a block of flats. Yeah. It's called terrace houses, and it's in Australia.
And you can't tell what colours are on that elevation.
What's the story, Balamory?
I still haven't watched that since you mentioned it in last year's episode.
Oh, it's got Balamory colours. I'm not saying that's a problem. Just saying it's got Balamory
just colours. It's nice.
It's nice. It looks quite Wes Anderson-esque because of the colours.
I'm in. I don't know. I quite like it.
I like it.
It's not.
I want to see inside of it.
If you look at it in its context, it's nice. Like, it looks very playful, whereas a lot of the things around it look,
doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, everything else looks
like
very industrial and serious. And then you've got this beautiful kind of thrown in bit of silly.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of having you in the office. Me and John are looking angrily at each other, and then you've got you just in the background.
Thank you.
Is
it in the middle of an industrial complex?
It looks it because of that massive warehousey thing next to it from the colourful side. But on the other side, where you've got those big brick arches, it doesn't look so, not out of place, but it doesn't look so like, I don't want to use the word juxtaposition. Maybe we should do an episode of Archibolics.
Very happy about their balconies and the socialness of it.
So they should be. I think in a housing development like that, there needs to be a community.
The interiors of the flats look nice enough. They're small, but they're nice enough. Now, this one, I know you're really going to like. This is the Industrial Award, and it goes to the headquarters of Carmo Coffees in Brazil.
Ah, I'm in.
It's a coffee plant.
This is my... I don't care.
Look at that. What a Blade Runner picture.
2 seconds. I haven't got it up on my screen. Bloody hell.
Yeah. What? Read the description.
2 seconds.
Is that a coffee bean carved into the side of that concrete
Located
slab?
in a strategic area, the
Mike,
place demands remarkable
this.
shape, hence the inward-looking shape. Open at the top like a skylight. An entrance for sunlight during the day and night, an expression of inner light, which is what coffee gives me, my inner light.
It's mint.
It's coffee.
Their second picture was this tunnel. I'm kind of looking at all of the other pictures.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking...
Do you know what it reminds me of?
It must be so hard to have just picked 2 for that.
This is going to sound really bad, but there's a shopping centre in Malmo called the Emporium or something. I went to it when I did my thesis, and it's got like this negative space carved into the top of it. It reminds me of that, and it's...
And that's so literally groovy. Which one are you looking at? Have you seen the coffee sack wall? I thought it was sandbags, but I realised it's coffee sacks.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Which one are you looking at there?
And that's the one I'm like, I was going, because I realised what that wall was made of. That's...
But then look in the little factory bit. Like it's so cool that they've put so much. Obviously, there's clearly a social side to this building of they've got to have meetings, they've got to have visitors, that kind of thing. But then it's still a factory.
One thing that I saw a while back, which I was quite interested in, was someone had done like ground coffee into like an epoxy resin.
Yeah.
And they made a guitar out of it. I'd be interested in doing that in a floor because there's a lot of brown tones in this, and I wonder if there's any form of that in there. Because I was speaking to Mike the other day about like reusing coffee products. I mean, it's obviously the default winner because it's
coffee.
It's coffee related.
That being said, I think my winner so far is that house.
The cave, yeah.
The cave.
Yeah, same.
We do.
Like jokes aside, the cave is the winner.
Anybody wants to design a cave in a house, let us know. Get in touch at pwsarchitecture.com.
info@pwsarchitecture.co.uk.
Or whatever he said.
If you would like to roast Theo personally, you can go theo@pwsarchitecture.co.uk, or you could ask us questions at askus@backtothedrawingboard.uk.
Or you can send a personal message to the Colourblind Architect on Instagram.
And his direct mobile number and this is where he lives. Next we'll move on to interior architecture.
Yeah,
I scrolled too far.
This will be interesting. But yeah, this is in Germany. It's by Murverd MVRDV, which are quite big. Speaking of big, no, we'll get to that soon.
What?
Sorry.
Is it another bloody...
Sorry, broski.
Is it another English?
But this is, I mean, sure, fair enough, cool. So it's a movie studio. That's
okay,
important.
Thank you.
That's important.
That's what I was about to say. What's the purpose?
Why are all these colourful curtains here?
I'm assuming then this is this purpose-built building with interior architecture, or is this existing building intervention? Do you know?
Explain some of those words for the viewers at home.
Is this, they have built this building and then an interior architect or interior designer or whatever has come in and done this installation, or is it a pre-existing building into which this has been put? I realise I went very archibolics on that. At almost 100 years old, Studio One is somewhat outdated for modern film production.
Okay, never mind, it's not purpose-built.
So by the looks of it, it's an intervention into an existing building. It's
cool.
It's something, isn't it? Bloody hell.
Do you remember the office studio that won last year for the interior one? And it was in London, and it was this lawyer's law firm. Yeah, and it had all these like red, gardeny, false cloud creating things. That was cool. I think that was almost a studio, a movie studio or a hangar or that kind of thing. I reckon is like a dream come true for someone who can hang curtains and someone with like interior architecture, interior design practice. Because if you can hang things from the ceiling, you can do anything with it. So if you've got that limited space, it's almost like
there's got to have been a lot of instances of how can we baffle the sound here.
Yeah,
because I bet that place echoes.
Absolutely.
I really like it. I like the.
Actually, speaking of which, I'm surprised that they've gone for such simple roofing. I don't think those rafters are for sound control at all. Actually, I think there's very little sound control.
No, I mean the curtains.
Yeah,
it's just the curtains.
You know when you get those vertical slats that you put on roofs of large buildings to control the sound, and I'm surprised they don't have any of that. Yeah,
there's no other form but the curtains. Yeah. No, I like that. I like the primary colours and everything that's thrown in there as well.
Yeah, let's see, is that on my second picture? Yes, there we go.
Yeah,
that's really cool. The next one is Offices.
Yep,
is by your favourite, the one and only Bjarke Ingels Group.
I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against him because
he just
seems to pop up everywhere I look.
And it's a starchitect.
Yeah.
Which, we have reservations about those unless we become one.
Yes, certainly my opinion there will change.
Yeah. But in fairness, what a building to win. When you look at it,
I've just seen the second image on like the overall website bit where it looks like it's been torn in two, it's like being held together sinuously.
Yeah,
and you can sort of see
it's literally. I mean, if you want to talk about biophilia, that looks like someone's tearing this muscle apart almost, doesn't it?
But I do wonder how much of the biophilia is actually green architecture and how much of it is greenwashing.
Yeah. Oh, if only we had some kind of episode about that.
If only.
It's such a cool building.
It is. I do really like it.
Yeah.
As I do with a lot of his stuff, I do actually like it.
You want to feel sorry for the interns that had to spend their days detailing out that pavement, but at the same time, they chose to go work there.
Yeah, I'm in.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an impressive piece of kit. What do we move on to then? Public and landscape architecture. I'd quite like to start looking into landscape architecture because it's useful.
I think landscaping.
I think there's a couple of our projects where I'm probably going to get a landscape architect involved, and I think we start to work with them and learn from them to do some basic, do some smaller schemes and then build up. But I think, that's...
So this is called 1 Green Mile.
Yep.
It's in India. And it's the second one on here by Murderv MV RDV. And it's cool and groovy, and I will get it on the screen now if I can find my mouse.
If MVRDV, do we know where they're based? Because it's actually not someone I've heard of before.
Have you not heard of Murderdover?
I possibly have. In the Netherlands. Oh, I have. No, of course I have. I've been to a lot of their buildings.
They've got to be. I'm sure they.
Yeah. I know who they are now.
Aren't they German? Yeah.
No,
all right, Dutch.
Netherlands.
You'd like that just as much.
Yeah. That's.
But yeah, this is nice. So this is that. Is it a community project as well?
That's nice. There's a lot of organic shapes which I'm into.
Yeah, it's a little community design.
Feeling like brutalism,
this space,
green stuff, and organic shapes
underneath this raised highway, where you usually see them turned into skate parks, that kind of thing, and they've just turned it into this little garden. It's really nice.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very nice.
Yeah. Cool.
As I say, this community garden under a highway. There's not much more to describe it as unless you look at it.
Definitely interesting. So the next one is
architecture. This is
one of my favourites.
Yeah. Listen, everybody. Churches are the best. Not churches. I don't mean religious buildings are the best.
Yeah. Places of worship.
Because the people, the community who.
There's a lot of symbolism as well in it.
Yeah,
which always makes for interesting architecture.
That space just want to put so much into it.
I scrolled.
You scrolled.
Sorry.
That's a lot of white, isn't it? They like white paint in these projects.
Yeah, but it's that purity, isn't it? It's that purity, closeness to God. Is it? Do we know if it's a church or mosque, or synagogue, or anything like that?
I believe it's a church.
I believe in
Chamber church. It doesn't beat that church I saw.
Yeah, it is
Ham
Chamber
last year.
Church.
Do you remember that church where they got all this like basically just MDF and they drilled holes into it in these patterns, and when you light it up at nighttime, you realize it's this giant tree,
Yeah.
and you're like, wow, this is the most pure looking.
Oh, you seen the outside? Yeah.
Yeah. How do you keep that thing clean? Is that a pond? Do you you look out onto a pond? I thought you step out onto a pond.
No, it's a reflecting pool, isn't it?
Nothing. I think, in my opinion, nothing will beat Tado Ando's reflecting pool. That's an insane church. But this is how will they keep that white? It's insane. That's mint. That's well cool. That is as fresh as mint.
So one of the things I did when I did my 2-week tour of Iceland and also got married, as a side.
Oh yeah.
As a side, was we looked at a lot of churches because they do churches really well out there. But I do love churches.
Yeah.
For someone who isn't particularly religious but was brought up in a religious household. Oh, have you seen the Starry Night-esque thing? Visual of it.
No, I haven't. Let me have a look.
That's beautiful. It's
Have they done like
end.
an interpretive drawing?
Oh, and then there's interior.
That's insane how and the way that it's stepped.
What the hell's GRG? Glass reinforced.
God reinforced glass.
Yeah, yeah, very good. Membrane silhouette. I know what GRP is. Glass reinforced plastic.
That is such a ridiculously white building.
GRG. What is
Have you seen all of the sections?
Yeah. Glass reinforced gypsum. Well, that was
Awesome.
breathtaking, if I'm being honest. There's not much to say after that. So, small scale and installation.
This is a house, I think.
Yeah, I can see that it's called Glass House.
It's called
Max
Glass House.
Nunez.
It's got a similar idea in terms of the glass. They took the glass out of Greenhouse, unlike Greenhouse from the previous winner.
Yep.
You'll see exactly what I mean in a second.
Whoa.
Oh, that's sexy, isn't it?
I'm trying to understand what's going on.
It's in Chile.
Give me a second.
It's by Max Nunez. Nunez.
I don't know, because Jan's N was like had a little mustache over it like that.
Did he?
Like Jan's. Anyway, Glass House.
But it's this greenhouse. It's not a house. It's a greenhouse.
So it's not a house. It's just a greenhouse. Yeah, right.
Growing
Just so
the
I can
exact
understand.
same plants inside that are growing outside.
So what's the point? Sorry, but what?
The daily routine of these species is adjusted to their circadian rhythm. They're plants.
Some of these plants are smarter than we are, mate.
Yeah, that's probably fair, mate.
So let's put it bluntly, someone's paid a lot of money for a greenhouse there, because you can get them from B&Q for like 20 quid.
And it's a very nice greenhouse.
Oh, it's stunning. Like,
if I had the money for that greenhouse, it's almost to the level of like a Victorian garden style thing.
It's Folly-esque.
Yeah,
except for it's actually got a purpose. As a greenhouse.
If they made Crystal Palace on a much smaller budget in the back of your garden, this is how it would look.
So
that's the best description I've done so far.
Sport architecture.
I don't think either of us will care, but it's on there, so we'll have a look. It's a
pronounce
stadium. It's cool as hell.
Pronounce
It's called Kuzhou Sport Park. It's by Mad, and it's in China.
Did you said that with real confidence? Do you know that that's correct, or are you just praying no one says anything?
I've met people.
I've met people.
I think I'm confident that is the
it's like,
Mandarin pronunciation of that.
In the nicest possible way, it's a bit of a wannabe Zaha Hadid, isn't it?
I don't. I mean, it's Mad, so they can want to be whatever they want. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with them.
Jean was saying you could just drive your cars around the top of that as a racetrack.
Yeah. It's got a bit of NASCAR about it.
I get what you mean, but at the same time, I think you're wrong.
Yeah, it's that kind of...
I get it's clean and it's fluid, but aside from that, it's different style. It's not as...
okay, some of the interior, once you start to bring it into context, and like the human scale is very not what I said.
Oh, I wish I had the interior on this. Those pillars are well cool. How many times do you reckon I've said that? Should we do a well cool? That's mint. That's well cool. Should we do a counter of it?
And then that's lovely. That's bloody lovely.
That's bloody lovely. That
bloody
is.
lovely. That
Yeah.
is. It's okay. It'll do.
I think
lovely.
there are. I mean, Mad are big enough that they can put some cool concepts into this thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Stuff like that. Definitely.
you need a big team to do that kind of thing. Yeah.
So
That's the end of it, mate.
well,
I think we did the exact same thing.
If I had to pick one
from this list,
if you okay, you go.
List,
if you had to pick one,
I'm picking the cave.
you're not picking the church.
No, I'm not picking the church.
I'm picking the church.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. You'll
Which
always,
is odd
you will
for me.
always, you'll always pick the church.
Nah.
Oh well,
'Cause
church versus a
residential. Church is church or residential / cave. The only reason I'm picking the church is I don't know. Actually, there was a part of me that was like, I have a defined logic behind this, but I don't.
It's a really cool thing. I think it will get dirty fast.
Meh.
They'll have to. Mine's communities are willing to put effort in for their churches. That's the joy of it. That's usually why they're so good.
Yeah.
With medicinal religious buildings, is the community's willing to put they care so much they can put so much effort in.
The past one goes playing around, don't we? No, there's just something about it. I don't know if
I do get it's very.
It's
very
possibly the purity and the symbolism
society.
that comes from all of that. But
Yeah.
I think it's also just the way that it's like ribbed. And
for your pleasure.
the exact joke I made last year about a different one.
What about
It's
a different church?
It's the way it's just done is like it just layers and yeah, no, I'm into this. And the curves and the arches and the purity of it.
I love it. I love it. I just think.
You just think the cave's better. I totally get it.
I think the method of building that cave, of pouring concrete into it, of digging a pit, filling the pit, digging some of the pit, covering the pit in mud, just to kind of make the construction easier, then going, oh, that mud looks really good. And it's like, how much of that process did they think through and how much did they get to and go?
More importantly, what happens if you excavate it and then go, I don't like that bit? There's not much you can do.
Tough mofo cookies. Put some cement on it.
Start resculpting it from the inside. Yeah, but then you
pray that it matches.
Yeah, and then pray that they actually join to one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you make it coarse beforehand, anything will stick. That's what I learned from when I made a little dude and his head fell off out of clay. Do you agree with the choice for House of the Year?
Do I agree with the choice for the House of the Year? Yes.
House of the Year.
I agree with, but
I know you could see any of them as winner, but that's why they're on the short list.
I know, but there's been a couple of years where you kind of go,
Yeah.
No, 100%. I could see why Glass House won that.
Yeah.
Or Greenhouse, sorry. Why Greenhouse won that. It's very
good.
It's all right.
Very good house.
It'll do.
Yeah.
No, I think that's I think
they're clearly not any of them low budget houses.
No.
In fairness.
Wasn't there one we did last year where there was a low budget, that was the because there's a Reba Sterling prize or something, wasn't it?
School of Food.
No, that was the Lawrence.
School of Food won like best small project or something.
Well, it was like £1 million, but that £1 million had been stretched to its limit.
Yeah.
What's it called? Stephen Lawrence Prize. That's it.
Is that it?
And that concludes this year's awards episode, season 3, episode 2 of Back to the Drawing Board.
Hey Phil, what did you think of seeing the slideshow for the first time?
For the very first time.
For the very first time.
It's really impressive. I wasn't expecting it at all in any way, shape, or form.
Wasn't it better than the previous one that we'll see next time?
Yes. There was more slides.
A lot more slides. That one was like, should we record now? And I was going, I'll just put some slides together.
I'd be interested to know what... Because obviously we've asked each other, do we think the House of the Year was the best? And which of those Arc Daily awards do we think was the best building in our eyes?
Maybe we should put a poll up.
Maybe we should do our own awards and we can hand out...
We'd probably end up choosing the same things.
A mug.
Except from...
PWS branded mug.
Northeast Awards of the Year, you can have Phil's coaster.
Yeah.
That still says PWS just a little bit.
I've just etched it in with the laser cutter. But no, I think it'd be interesting to see what other people think. Do they agree with what has been chosen? Do they also agree that all of them seem to be southeast and southwest and London based? I get it, they've probably got the biggest budgets and throw the most at it. But
well, in fairness, one was in Scotland, and that was definitely the most expensive of the lot.
Yep, never mind.
I say
I'm
that
on that bombshell.
I say that without even thinking about it because it has a gold roof light.
Yeah, and it's designed to fit an 18-foot Christmas tree or something daft, isn't it?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I think.
It's mental.
Yeah.
Anyway,
very worthy a winner.
Yeah.
From Greenhouse Glasshouse.
Absolutely. I think obviously we haven't looked at the shortlist for these ones, but they're all incredible buildings on the Arc Daily one, as they always will be, because it's from across the globe.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing to take from that is you look at the residential that won the Arc Daily award, the Cave.
Yeah.
And then you look at...
In fact,
that was hospitality.
That was hospitality.
No, the residential, the house one was the one in Brazil.
In the slum, in the favela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even looking at that and looking at the winner of the House of the Year from the UK.
And you're like, it could have gone in there. For the idea of it being a cheap, tiny home in a not very well-off area, and yet it's been so nicely designed and carefully designed.
Yeah.
On that note, thanks for joining us in this episode. If you're listening on any podcasting platform, please consider leaving us a review. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. And follow us on Instagram at Back to the Drawing Board IG.
And consider subscribing to our Patreon from as little as £1.
We'll see you.
As little as £1 a month, which is 3p a day, to help build our community, to see some longer videos and some less edited videos.
Although as we're getting better at this, that becomes less of a promise. No, we'll deliver. We'll see you next time when we return back to the drawing board.